Well, very interesting, because I certainly hope that those thoughts hold true coming into spring. With the top end of the market continuing to perform, we have some exciting properties coming up. Now, joining me today is the Chief Operating Officer of Business SA, Brett Mahoney. Good to see you, Brett.
Thanks,
again.
Tim. Good to see you.
Yeah. Lovely to have you in here.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can get into some interesting discussion. But perhaps before we do, why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown on your background and what brings you here?
As Chief Operating Officer at Business SA, my prime responsibility is looking after the business side of Business SA. And you might be surprised to know we have 160 employees, ranging across a range of products and services and member benefits. And we represent thousands of businesses who are our members across the state. And because we advocate on behalf of business, it's very important we run a successful one ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased to say that we do so.
Absolutely.
We're quite prolific in the media. A lot of your viewers will know Peter Vaughan to be our key spokesperson, and we have thousands of media mentions every year regarding a range of topics. And we've made a strategic decision that alongside Peter, I'll be making more and more public comment into the future.
A fresh face.
Fresh face.
Good work.
Thank you.
Good to have that happen. Perhaps let's get into some of the detail that we're here to talk about. The state's economy. Should investors be confident and comfortable in the environment they're in at the moment?
I guess the best way to look at it is to take Australia as a bit of a picture and then compare South Australia to it.
Yeah.
It's fair to say that Australia emerged from the global financial crisis in much better shape than a lot of other countries around the globe.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. And a recent indicator of unemployment in July in Australia was an average of 5.3%.
Okay.
Now, if you compare that to the US, who's in a world of pain at the moment, they're floating around 10%. So that alone shows that Australia has emerged quite well.
Yeah.
South Australia, as comparison, around 5.1% our unemployment rate at this stage, and a range of other economic indicators show that South Australia is in a very buoyant and strong position.
Yep.
However, caution must be undertaken. There are certainly some areas there that need some influence and some leadership with regards to the economy.
Yep.
The announcement of the retainment of our AAA credit rating in South Australia would absolutely be heartening for investors, there's no doubt there. But areas such as infrastructure and predominantly the cost of doing business in South Australia, which is still very costly to do, is a major influencer on investors in South Australia. So we're looking forward to the handing down of the state budget next week, and we're really hopeful that the government shows leadership and courage and looks into some areas of cost savings within the public sector, and hopefully transferring those savings into areas of relief such as payroll tax and land tax, and reducing that burden on doing business in South Australia. Yeah,
well, there's a lot we could drill down further on all of that. Certainly there's some hobby horses of mine in amongst that, but we won't just for the moment. The mining sector is particularly important to South Australia. How's it going at the moment? Are we back up and running? Are the mining companies re-employing? And what about the tax?
Well, mining has always been lauded as a fantastic and very important growth industry within South Australia, quite rightly so.
Naturally,
but the Rudd-led government's idea of a resources super profits tax pretty much put the handbrake on a lot of mining efforts and vision for the future. And that's somewhat been softened by a Gillard-led government in regards to a minerals resource rent tax. Now that is supposedly shelters an area like Olympic Dam because it doesn't include gold, copper or uranium mines. But with the advents of yesterday and the election, and obviously the influence of the Greens and the Independents, I think miners in general are waiting to see exactly what's going to eventuate with that. And I noticed today in the news that Wayne Swan's pretty keen to get a move on with the mining tax. And a tax is a tax, and regardless how you dress it up, so it is an impost on doing business in the state. Some good news though, as late as last week, a new iron ore mine has been given the go-ahead on Eyre Peninsula, so we're really looking forward to seeing the benefits of that. Oh,
that's terrific, and great for the people of Eyre Peninsula. I guess we just touched on the election. We have the result finally. Lord knows why it needed to take so long, but can you give me your thoughts on how, or whether it's a good or a bad result, and how it might affect us moving forward as well?
I think all I can say at this stage, it is early stages, that everyone around the country was waiting with bated breath to see what the independents were going to do, which way they were going to go. The good news is that everyone is talking about it. it will create much more scrutiny on everyone's policies, including the Greens and the Independents. And we're looking forward to seeing a lot more over the next couple of weeks with regards to the viewpoint of the Gillard-led Labor government.
Be interesting with the balance, I guess. There's just that fraction of doubt as to how easily things will move through government, but I guess
and on that point, Tim, business it hates uncertainty.
Yes.
And over the past few weeks, there has been substantial uncertainty. So we're quite hopeful that business can get on with the job of doing business in South Australia. Yeah,
good thoughts. Moving on to the Defence Battalion, which is due here shortly. 1,200 odd soldiers, 2,000 odd family, including the soldiers, about to arrive. What are your thoughts in terms of how that's going to affect the economy, maybe even a little bit on the real estate side of things, and indeed the broader community with jobs and so forth?
What a great initiative. Now, this has been on the drawing board for a number of years, I believe. But the crux of it is that the 7th Royal Australian Regiment, who are currently based in Darwin, will be wholly and solely relocating to Adelaide.
It's great.
Now, as you mentioned, that's 1,200 defence personnel and their families. A lot of the capital works to do with the Edinburgh base will be finishing by the end of this year. And I'm led to believe that the relocation of those defence personnel will start at the end of this year to be completed early in the new year. And the economic benefits of that and the flow-on effects, especially for the northern suburbs, will be substantial, right from delis to restaurants to schools and furniture stores, no matter what. So we're really looking forward to welcoming 7RAR to South Australia.
Well, we are too, because we would like to see them buy some homes and all that sort of thing,
No
certainly
doubt.
from us. I guess the other thing in regard to such a large number of people coming in, there will be more jobs created as a result. I read simply in the automotive industry where people servicing vehicles and that. Do you have an idea on the number of jobs that might be being created as a result?
I really don't have a specific number, but the good news is that any form of direct change like this creates indirect positive flows as well too. So it is quite obvious that a lot of the supply chain and suppliers to that particular area will definitely benefit from that, which is great news for our state.
Yeah. Just finally, your thoughts on interest rates. We know that they've been kept on hold from the Reserve Bank meeting yesterday. Discussion that they may need to rise by the end of the year. Do you have any particular thoughts on that at the moment?
Well, as you mentioned, the Reserve Bank Board met here in Adelaide actually yesterday, and it was a sensible decision to keep the cash rate at 4.5%. Now, as we're aware, it's intrinsically linked to inflation, which across the board in Australia is sitting at 3.1%, which is definitely at the higher end of the threshold of tolerance of the RBA. That being said, that is a national figure, and there are a lot of businesses doing it very, very tough still here in South Australia. So it's our view that whilst the pundits may believe that there should be an increase between now and Christmas, we believe it should absolutely stay as it is, because in the lead up to Christmas, the retail flurry, all of those types of things, we need to make sure that nothing stifles the possible forward motion of the economy.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, look, stay with us. We're going to go behind the blinds right now.